The regular session of the City Council of the City of Pleasant, Texas will now come to order December 4th, 2014 at 7:03 p.m. Item number 1 is the invocation followed by the pledge. The invocation will be given by Reverend Tony Aguirre of Emmanuel Church. Reverend.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you. We thank you for this evening that you have gathered us together, God, to discuss the future that you have for this city. Tonight we ask that you will continue to bless us, that you will bless the agenda, most importantly, that you will guide the council members that are here present. Father, that you will guide also the law enforcement that are here present and are currently protecting our streets. Father, we ask this evening for a special prayer, a special blessing for the family of the Best. Lord, you know their situation, you see their pain, and we ask that you will comfort them, bring them peace. We also pray for the family Signs, as you know their situation as well. We also pray for peace and comfort in their family. God, we ask for your continual favor for this city, and we ask that we will follow in your footsteps. It's in your Son's mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. We'll face the flag, hand up heart. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Item number 3 is a roll call. Ms. Israel. Here. Mr. Science. Here. Mr. Best.
Here.
Mr. Garza.
Here.
Ms. Pacifica.
Here.
Mr. Gallegos. Here. All members are present. Item number 4 is consent agenda. Item number 8 is approval of the minutes of the regular session of November 20th, 2014.
Mayor,
Mr. Gallegos.
please bear with me because I have the worst case of the horses. I move to approve the consent agenda, agenda item A.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda, agenda item number A. Any discussion? None will proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5 is discussion action to name Pleasanton representative to the Atascocita County Appraisal District Board of Directors for a term of 2 years.
Mayor?
Ms. Israel.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Mr. Larry Pippin. Second.
Mayor,
Mr. Gallegos.
I'd like to nominate Joe Rodriguez. I spoke to him and he wishes to stay on as our representative.
Any other nominations? If not, by show of hands, can we see who would like to select Mr. Pippin? And Mr. Rodriguez. 4-3, Mr. Pippin will be the representative for the City of Pleasanton to the Atascocita County Appraisal District Board of Directors. Item number 6 is ordinance and resolutions. Item number 8 is the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 14-1124, annexing a tract of land containing 3.69 acres lying in the William Moore Survey number 895, abstract number 631 of the City of Pleasanton, Atascocita County, Texas, commonly known as Eagle Heights Subdivision, Pleasanton Apartments. And let me state that for the agenda item, let the record reflect that what is in the parentheses is incorrect surplus, which is Pleasanton Apartments, and that should be excluded from any motion.
Mayor?
Mr. Gallegos. Let me read the ordinance real quick, Mr.
That's
Gallegos.
what
Ordinance number 14-1124 is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pleasant, Texas, annexing the hereafter described territory, a tract of land containing 3.69 acres lying in the William Moore Subdivision number 895, abstract number 631, in the City of Pleasant, Texas, Atascocita County, Texas, commonly known as Eagle Heights Subdivision, to the City of Pleasanton, Atascocita County, Texas, and extending the boundary limits of said city so as to include the herein described property within the said city limits, and granting to all of its inhabitants of said properties all the rights and privileges of other citizens, and binding said inhabitants to all the acts, ordinances, resolutions, and regulations of said city, and adopting a service plan.
Mayor, I move to approve the adoption of ordinance number 14-1124, annexing a tract of land containing 3.69 acres lying in the William Moore Survey number 895, abstract number 631 in the City of Pleasanton, Atascocita County, Texas, commonly known as the Eagle Heights Subdivision.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 14-1124, annexing a tract of land containing 3.69 acres lying in the William Moore Survey Number 895, abstract 631 in the city of Pleasanton, Texas, or city of Pleasanton, Atascosa County, Texas, commonly known as Eagle Heights subdivision. Any discussion? None will proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Ordinance is adopted. Item number B is reading and adoption of ordinance number 14-1126, appointing, 14-1126, amending utility charges and associated fees, and ordinance number 14-1126 is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Pleasant, Texas, amending Title 5, Chapter 50, Utilities in General for utility charges and associated fees, repealing parts of ordinances in conflict and declaring an emergency.
Mayor,
Mr. Gagos.
I move to approve the adoption of ordinance number 14-1126, amending the utility charges and associated fees.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 14-1126, amending utility charges and associated fees. Any discussion? None will proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Ordinance is adopted. Item number C is reading and adoption of resolution number 136-14, appointing Pleasanton's representative to serve at the Atascosa County Appraisal District Board of Directors. Resolution number 136-14 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Pleasant, Texas, appointing a representative to the Board of the Atascosa County Appraisal District, repealing resolutions in conflict.
Mayor,
Mr. Gagos.
I move to approve the adoption of resolution number 136-14, appointing Pleasanton representative to serve on the Atascosa County Appraisal District Board of Directors, Mr. Larry Pippen.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve adoption of resolution number 136-14, appointing Pleasant's representative to serve as the Atascosa County Appraisal District's Board of Directors, Mr. Larry Pippen. Any discussion? If there's none, we'll proceed to the votes. In favor of the resolution, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Resolution passes. Item number 7 is citizens' comments. If you are a citizen of or a taxpayer to the City of Pleasanton, you may speak at this time. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. I'll let you know when you have a minute left, and know the staff and council may not comment. And I do have on here Mr. Byrd.
Council.
Evening.
I'd like to bring to your attention the skate park. I'm on a one-track mind here with that skate park. And the reason I'm excited about it is because I see number 11 on our item tonight and that master plan, and I'd like to put the skate park right in the number 1 slot on that master plan. I think if you read the Pleasanton Express today, you saw a good article of what's going on. The picture that's represented there is about half of the parents that were there. And we had a full 35 skaters that came from all over Atascosa County. And we're excited about that, and we'd like to see the city council behind it as much as the parents are. And that just means come down there for 10 minutes, let them see you, say hello to them, and let them know that you're behind them. Because Doug, Mr. Best, I really appreciate your coming down there. That means a lot to the families that are there. You get a chance to hobnob with them, and then the kids see you, and they know that, we're not just blowing smoke. So thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. I also have Asif Mahmood.
Your Honor, Mayor, and the City Council, I'm really excited about making an announcement in the town. But before I do that, I want to recognize my partners who are with me on this journey that concerns the announcement. But even before I do that, I need to recognize and thank some of the city people that worked so hard on the development staff, the city engineer's office, Ron Mary, the Public Works Department under Johnny Weezar, the building permits under Mr. Rainey, and our law enforcement brethren that are going to help us keep our assets safe and keep our streets safe. We thank you for that. And I think it's kind of anticlimactic because we are going to be seeing some of you on Saturday for friends and family, but we are announcing today the grand opening of Village Inn Restaurant on Monday, December 8th at 5 a.m. The doors will be open to the public. We plan to stay open from 5 to 10 p.m. 5 days a week, and on weekends 5 a.m. to 1 a.m. And we hope to fill a void where people from Pleasanton have been deprived of their natural rights, as far as I'm concerned, gravy and biscuits and so on. So we're gonna step up to the plate and deliver that for you all, and we look forward to seeing you all, some of you on Saturday, and the rest of you another time, whenever your schedule allows us. Come dine with us and have a fine dining experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments? Now we proceed to departmental reports.
Mr. Weezer will deliver the Public Works Director's report, followed by Mr. Julian Rodriguez with the Utility and Water System report, followed by that with the manager's message to that point.
Good evening, Council, Mayor.
Evening.
Our parks crew built and installed 8 more trash receptacles and placed them at the sports complex ball field 3 and 4. They trimmed trees in the pecan orchard and removed the fallen tree limbs. Crews also sprayed wood seal application to protect the playscape through the winter. This week, crews began the preparation for painting restroom number 1. They pressure washed and cleaned wall surfaces before painting. All ball field turfs were fertilized for the winter by adding the fertilizer high in potassium to help maintain the and protect the root system from the extreme temperatures of winter. Last week, parks, street, and wastewater plant staff coordinated as available and were able to gather enough personnel to install some of the holiday lighting that you see in the community center and civic center. We've also installed lighting around all public buildings. The guys did an excellent job on the layout and have left some room to build for next year. John Medding and I reviewed notification letters that he had prepared for the property owners along the route of our upcoming water main project. This letter will be asking the owners for their consent to allow us to open and cut through their driveways, and it also includes repairing driveways with similar material. We're giving them the option to meet with us individually if they have any questions or concerns. Street Department Superintendent John Roberts and I have been working on addressing some airport issues. They have replaced some light bulbs and fixtures on both windsock masts. Other lighting issues, mainly bulb replacement, are still needed. A new fuel nozzle for the fuel station has been ordered. The wastewater plant is experiencing some pump and control panel issues. RAS pump number 2 is down for repairs, and crews have replaced 5 lamp ballasts to the ultraviolet light system to bank 8. That completes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Weezer? Thank you, Mr. Weezer.
Thank you, Ms. Weezer.
Mayor, Council,
Evening.
Good evening.
good evening. As of to date, all the water plants are in full operation. The Hunt Street 8-inch water main extension is in progress. I believe Mr. Mago's monitoring that. To date, the construction crews have installed over 400 feet of 8-inch PVC pipe. Let's see, 8-inch water tie-in and 300 feet of PVC pipe remain. The construction crew have encountered other utilities which have slowed the progress on this project. The water department crews continue to identify and replace broken isolation valves and replacement of leaking fire hydrants on Main Street, of which 4 fire hydrants and 1 6-inch inline valve, remain. We also continue to receive pricing on pipe and fittings for our Highway 97 water project. That's what I have up to date now.
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Garza.
All right.
We'll leave it at that. This evening, I'd like to give you all just a few items, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the planning issues that were a part of the budget as well. The information technology update, we have had the point-to-point or the Wi-Fi system installed There will be an additional installation of a mast at the wastewater treatment plant. All buildings are speaking to each other. It was a miracle when the chief and I sent an email, and it came across in about 3 seconds today. We actually tested with the court as well. That has always been a huge challenge because of the small business class server in the court. Sometimes we received email in 4 hours, sometimes 3 hours. Checking with the associate judge this morning, the email was coming across in 2 seconds. So we're very pleased at this point. We'll continue to test. Tomorrow we'll be sending some emails back and forth in the next day or so between the library, civic center, City Hall, Police Department, and Public Works to make sure we have that coordination down and those time delays are not too long. It was reported, Sharon did report from the Public Works Department that her email had sped up tremendously, and she had noticed significant increases in the amount of time that the Encode system was responding back to her from the Encode server here at City Hall. So that allowed us to move in the direction of extending our existing human resources, with Sharon helping out with some of the work orders being closed out, and I really appreciate that, Sharon. Some of the planning issues in the FY 2015 budget, I wanted to visit with you just briefly to kind of bring you up to where we're at. There was a drainage study that had been ordered. That drainage study has been completed. We'll be meeting with those engineers up there in that Florida Street area sometime after Wednesday next week. They have two options to alleviate that drainage challenge up there, and we hope to be bringing that to the council in the near future. The impact fee study is complete and was passed by the council. The impact fees are in effect. Our certificate of convenience and necessity has been submitted to the state, to TCEQ some time ago, with the Sunset Commission and some changes. I believe TDLR now, if I'm not mistaken, is reviewing all CCN applications. So all our packet went to TDLR, and we were confirmed that they had the packet in hand and were reviewing it. Under the future land use assumptions, our water production, distribution, and transport project, as you just heard, is ongoing. We have let the first two contracts of that project, and there was a pre-construction yesterday for the construction of the water tower. The water tower will be under construction shortly after the 1st of January. The mayor and I will be washing our windows and our cars for the next year. Should have came. Anyway, annexations. We did complete an annexation this year, but it was part of last year's annexation. We did have one annexation planned for this next year, and we'll wait for council direction on that. At this point, we have not made any decisions on the move of community development services to the old library. Right now, we have so many ongoing projects with those folks. Our primary objective at this point is to get the White House ready for CASA to move into, and the electrical has been run, and the air conditioning and heating ducts have been run. We had a tour of that facility yesterday with Miss Israel so she could gain some insight on it. We are beginning the design phase of the new fire station. That contract has been let. Chief and I toured 3 fire stations in San Antonio about a week or so ago. There's another fire station set to be toured. We will be sending them the area we would like to see considered for the placement of that fire station. The chief has forwarded to me how he would like the floor plan layout to take effect. We forwarded that to him, and after the tour of the 3 fire stations, we actually had about a 45 to 1 hour meeting with the consultant at their office in San Antonio to talk about some of the design features within the new fire station. Design and contract. The cleaning of the Atascosa River, as you all know, you've let the contract on that. Mr. Metting tells me that sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks they'll be beginning the cleaning of the Atascosa River and Bonita Creek. Developing a comprehensive parks master plan, that is on the agenda tonight. If you all direct us and to give us direction to enter into that contract, we will be moving very rapidly on that. We feel like it's important for this council to make the decision on whether to accept the parks master plan at its completion or not. Our timetable is to have that thing finished and ready for council consideration sometime around April 15th. I must tell you, this is a very tight timetable, very tight. The expansion of the museum into existing space previously used for meetings, that is ongoing with Mr. Peterson working with Valerie. She's doing space relations studies and how she wants to arrange that. We're trying to stay cognizant of the fact that any kind of art exhibits or art displays can still be held over there. Right now, we're on hold with the construction of covered parking for all vehicles and equipment at the Public Works facility. We did establish a Civic Center departmental operating budget to track expenses. That was approved by the council. It's in the budget. We have not begun the revision, a possible revision of permits and fees to better accommodate contractors, developers, owners, and the city. That is on our radar. And to also possibly completely rewrite the Public Works ordinance, of which some sections date back to 1983 and before. So those are two of the items that are out there on our radar. We've been allowed by the council and directed by the council to begin some of these projects very early, as you all know, mainly the fire station and the parks master plan, which has allowed us to move forward with some of these other projects. Just a couple of other things I'll mention. We have done some other annexations, but they were voluntary annexations as the city was petitioned. We do plan on putting another annexation in front of you all January 15th. The school district is petitioning a voluntary annexation. We have been working for almost a year on the parks ordinance that was ordered by the council and directed to the staff. This has been a combined effort of the Parks Commission, the Parks Committee, Mr. Weezar, Mr. Peterson, and somewhat myself. We've done 2 revisions of that parks ordinance. We hope to have that in front of you all January 15th. We also were directed about 2 months ago to develop a user agreement for the Chamber of Commerce. As you know, they have a user agreement for the Atascosa River Park or Veterans Park for chamber events, exclusively the Cowboy Homecoming. They visited with us and visited with the council about wanting to bring Cowboy Homecoming back to the park, as well as the Turn and Burn event, and they were requesting an extended contract. They still have 2 years left on the existing contract, but they want that rescinded, and we have worked on the language in that contract. I am reviewing a final edit right now. We'll meet with Mr. Peterson next week on that at the same time I meet with him on the parks ordinance. The Employee Personnel Policy Manual, this has been a consuming event. A committee selected by the city manager's office of department heads and others have been meeting for at least 2 hours every Tuesday for the past 2 months. We have 1 chapter left to complete our second review, and then, Andreas, you have a lot of work to do, and we'll have you in there helping us. Andreas helped us put this thing together of a combination of 3 or 4 different employee personnel policy manuals that were reviewed and under direction of the staff, as well as our existing employee personnel policy manual. I will tell you, the existing manual is a good manual. It was designed and submitted to cities by TML a number of years ago, but TML doesn't do that anymore. So there's a lot of provisions in that employee personnel policy manual that will remain intact. They're solid and they're still up to date. But there's other things as far as information technology and who can access the system, who can use computers and how do they use them for. We've looked at sick leave. We've looked at vacation time. We've looked at conduct. We've looked at a number of things. The smoking policy in the existing manual doesn't address tobacco and dipping. We've looked at that. So there's a lot of things we've looked at. We feel like we're at about 80-85%, and we hope to have that ready for you hopefully by the 1st of March for consideration and possible approval. At this time, it is still in the staff's hands, but the new police operations and procedures manual is in the chief's hands for final review, as well as Mr. Maldonado, our city attorney, and we hope to have both of those brought to you all for consideration and possible adoption at the same time. The procedure for the leave bank donation that you all approved by ordinance at the last meeting, that committee has been meeting for about 3 weeks as well. Big kudos to Maria and Mr. Weezar. The committee selected a chairman, and that is Mandy Palomo. They felt like it was important that it not be a department head that chaired that committee, and with her amount of experience, they selected her, and she will chair that committee. We feel like the procedures will be finalized in the next 2 weeks on who gets to play and who gets to pay, if you will. I'm excited to announce this evening that under a planning objective, I went to a small conference down at Corpus here about a month or so ago. It was a day-and-a-half conference, and I went for two reasons: to see if we could speak to somebody about broadband, cable, internet, and phone service in Pleasanton. As you know, we don't have it. Most of us who have any channels at all are looking at it through a dish-type setup. We do not have any broadband service in Pleasanton. And although I made a good contact, our challenge is because of the franchise rights of another organization in this area who chooses not to run broadband at this time. Well, Interstage left. About a week after that, I received a visit from a longtime friend, and I have to admit he's a longtime friend because my wife taught his son. He's a former executive vice president of Clear Channel Communications, and he came to announce that he and his investors have bought the cable company here as well as other cable companies in the South Texas area, and he will be making an announcement to you all and giving a presentation to you all on January 15th about broadband coming to Pleasanton. I'll let him talk about the time frames and the schedules, but because they already have the rights here for cable service, they can run fiber optic, and they plan on providing cable up to maybe 200 channels or more, phone service that will have no long-distance charge attached to it, and internet service. Right now, our sister city of Jourdanton has the same thing, and they are very excited about it, although it's with a different company. So we're very excited about that because that will help our city tremendously, as well as our developers and our commercial folks. We'll be visiting with you. We've been planning this for quite some time on a cost reimbursement agreement with Taco Bell. We have been discussing a cost reimbursement with them for some time. That has been reviewed. There's been a lot of emails back and forth between their attorney, our attorney, myself, and the developer. It's been going on for about 8 months. We're going to ask for direction on January 15th to enter into a cost reimbursement with them. They ran almost 700 feet of sewer line to accommodate not only their development, but possible development on 97 adjacent to them and down the road. And they did run almost 350 feet of 12-inch water line to further loop our system together and provide better fire protection in the 97 corridor. And we will be visiting with you on that. One of the other things that's been a major planning initiative for a year and a half, and it's been very successful, it has been completed, is the hazmat cleanup, and we're very excited about that. And that will be in each budget from now on. Last item, Mayor. The holiday luncheon announcement, December 11th. 15th, noon to 2, noon to 3. Mayor did ask me earlier what color Santa Claus is supposed to wear. I told him refer to the committee and our social events coordinator for that. And also in your packet is our list of holiday schedule for this next year. Once again, 13 holidays as approved by the council back in 2012, and that wraps up our message this evening. I'll stand for any questions or comments.
Questions for Mr. Pearson? Thank you, Mr. Pearson.
Thank you.
Item number 10 is mayor's message. I have no message or announcements this evening, so we'll go to 11. Discussion action to enter into a contract with Burdett Land Place Consultants to complete a parks master plan for the city of Pleasant, Texas.
Mayor,
Mr. Gagos.
I move to approve to enter into a contract with Burnett Land Place Consultant to complete a parks master plan for the city of Pleasanton.
Second.
Moved and seconded to enter into a contract with Burdett Land Place Consultants to complete a parks master plan for the city of Pleasant, Texas. Any discussion? None. Proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 12, report from Atascosa County Appraisal District Representative Mr. Rodriguez. I see Mr. Rodriguez is not here, so as submitted. We'll move on to agenda item number 13 is discussion action to add streets on the east side of town for the Lighted Christmas Parade for December 6, 2014. This is Councilmember Gallegos and myself. I put this on here. I spoke to Mr. Wood after the meeting yesterday, last meeting, and what he told me was, he said, hey, if the city, he said, I've asked y'all and y'all have never brought anything to us, and So I thought tonight would be a good time to talk to him about what they could possibly do in the future to extend that to the east side. Mr. Gallegos, anything to add?
Yes, Mayor, I have some recommendations and some suggestions. I don't know if the council wants to agree to them, but I know it's my understanding that the trail riders do not want to cross over 281 because of the traffic, and they do not want to be going over the railroad tracks either. So I'm going to recommend that if the chief agrees with this, that they include, as they're exiting the Veterans Memorial, which is the park, onto Adams, to head east under the bridge, under 281.
Over the river bridge?
Yes, sir, to Hunt Street, from Hunt to Caldwell, from Caldwell back to Adams, which does not go over the tracks, to Hollingsworth, to Depot, and then Marshall, and then back down Caldwell, so they could cut across Caldwell to come back to the park, back to Main Street. And this is just a suggestion, a start for the east side.
Sure.
So I don't know if anyone wants to add any more, and they will not have to go over the tracks or go over 281.
Yeah, what he expressed to me, because he called me, I don't know, Mr. Wood called me the day before yesterday and asked what we were going to suggest. He said that he doesn't think they'll be able to incorporate anything this year because it's already kind of planned. And they have two floats that won't go into the bridge because it's 12 feet, Chief? Okay. And they have two floats that are 13 feet. But he said any suggestions we have to bring to them for next year, please do, and he'll try to incorporate it. So.
Okay. Well, I won't be here for next year, but I think I agree with Mr. Sines that, they need to make some effort to go on the east side, a couple of streets every year, add on. And because it is a nice parade, I enjoy it. It goes into my district quite a bit, and it's a nice parade. So with that said, Mr. Mayor, I move to dismiss agenda item 13.
It's been moved and seconded to dismiss agenda item number 13.
Yes, well, you said that these plans won't be.
Well, no, he asked for us actually, and it has been moved and seconded that we had dismissed the item, but what he asked for is for us to give them what we want them to do next year. That way they can incorporate it and make sure that it's available.
Well, the new council can decide on that.
Okay. Any other discussion on dismissing the item? All those in favor of dismissing the item, please raise your right hand. All those opposed to dismissing, raise your right hand. Item is not dismissed. We still have the item before us.
Mayor,
Ms. Israel.
First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Gallegos because I really myself appreciate how quickly the council chose to begin addressing this issue. I'm wondering if how to proceed on this, because certainly we would want more input for Mr. Woods, but I'm wondering if Mr. Sines would like to be involved in that. No?
No, ma'am.
Is there any way that we could just ask Mr. Wood to, express our concern and ask him to come up with a plan to bring to us?
I think that is certainly a good idea.
Well, it's a start,
Yeah.
and that's what
we're looking for.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Best.
in regards to those 13-foot floats, I mean, it's just like the river parade. They have floats that are higher than the bridge, but they're designed to bend down when they go under the bridge. So there are ways to work around that.
Sure.
Mayor,
Ms. Israel,
may I make a motion?
please.
I'd like to make a motion to ask Robert Earl Woods to come back to the council with some suggestions how to implement the extension of the lighted parade to the east side of town on the other side of the river.
It's been moved and seconded to ask Mr. Wood to come back before the council with suggestions on how to expand the parade on the east side of 281. Is that correct, Ms. Israel?
That is correct, sir.
Any discussion? None will proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 14 is discussion action to award the quote to install soccer field lights in the River Park. Community Development Supervisor.
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
As y'all know, we've been working on the soccer field lights for some quite time and trying to get this in budget. We think we've done that with the help of the supplier for the lights and the contractor. So, asking for discussion and action to accept the award labor and miscellaneous material quote to install River Park lights for the retrofit. So the options are direct the city staff to award the bid and labor and miscellaneous materials to install the electric park lights, field retrofit lights in the amount of $13,328 from AP Electric. Direct the staff not to award the bid for the labor and miscellaneous material to install the River Park lights, retrofit lights in the amount of $13,328 from AP Electric. Real quick, I'd like to mention that Mr. Doug Poole would like to be here, but for personal reasons he couldn't be here. But he sent a representative, James Morales, out here. And one thing I want to mention, when I went to AP, first thing he said out of his mouth was, "Let's do it for the kids." You got to appreciate a contractor that, because the other bids that we got, it was a substantial difference, big amount difference. So with that said, we recommend that the direct city staff award the bid for labor and miscellaneous material to install the River Park soccer field light, retrofit lights in the amount of $13,328 from AP Electric.
Mayor?
Israel.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to award the quote of let me do this right so I don't mess up for you. To direct the city staff to award the bid for the labor and miscellaneous material and install the River Park soccer field retrofit lights in the amount of $13,328 from AP Electric.
Been moved and seconded to direct the city staff to award the bid for the labor and miscellaneous materials to install the River Park soccer field retrofit lights in the amount of $13,328 for AP Electric. Any discussion? There's none. We'll proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 15 is discussion action request to declare property at 1026 West Oak Lawn a public nuisance, abate the property, and recover costs. Community Development Supervisor.
Stay up here. Real quick, Jesse Flores is our code enforcement officer, and he's been working hard on this property that's located on 1026 West Oak Lawn. We have tried numerous times to work with Ms. Bell. She tends to, when we get there, run away from us, ignore us. She does have a fallen tree in her property, high grass. It butts up to apartment complex, overgrown, and we had calls that there's harboring dogs, animals. We even had a call that they seen a snake out there back where the kids in the yard. So we tried and sent several letters out to Ms. Bell, one certified, one posted on the house, and we don't get a positive response. So we have to go to the next step in asking direction to City Council to use our people in-house to get this property where it needs to be to minimize any kind of hazards that may exist for kids walking by, neighboring properties and what have you.
New businesses that are opening up nearby too.
So with that being said, we'd like for the staff to direct the city staff to designate the property located at 1026 West Oak Lawn and as described above as a public nuisance, and allow the city personnel to abate the dangerous condition, to place a lien on the property for the amount it costs the city to abate the property.
Okay.
Mayor?
Israel,
I'd like to make a motion
please.
to direct the city staff to declare the property at 1026 West Oak Lawn a public nuisance, abate the property, and recover the costs.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to declare the property at 1026 West Oak Lawn a public nuisance, abate the property, and recover the costs. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I have some
Chicago.
questions. The owner of the property, the address it's Fair Oaks Ranch.
Oak Lawn,
Oak Lawn.
1026 West Oak Lawn.
Yeah, but in the property details, it says the owner,
I sent a letter over.
mailing address is C.O. Wayne Davidson at the Fair Oaks Ranch. Are they the people that own it and she just lives there? Or is she the
It's a
owner?
brother and a sister. that own it, so we sent those to both of them because they're listed that way on the appraisal district. So Miss Phyllis Bell lives here on the property without,
So she is part owner,
she is part owner.
and then her brother must live in Fair Oaks.
Yes, and we haven't had a response from either, and Ms. Bell's actually living on the property without any electricity or any power. We had, in the past, have had some issues with her where she had hazardous waste in the back that we had to remove. So,
And my second question is it safe for our employees to go and do this work there?
yes, well, right now what it is it's a tree that's falling
Well,
down.
that's not what I meant. I meant for their safety.
We would work with the PD department to have a service of warrant working with the municipal court, have the PD on site working with us to secure the property. We did go there, me and Jesse, myself, and did take a visual of the property to make sure there wasn't any kind of issues that were hazardous waste. Right now, it's just a matter of removing the tree, cutting the grass down, and trimming the oak trees, because right now is the perfect time to trim the oak trees from any type of diseases to be spread. At this time is the perfect time to get in there and clean the property up. So we've done some research on that to make sure that everybody involved, it wouldn't be hazardous and we can do it in a safe manner.
Other
Well,
questions?
thank you, Mayor.
If not, proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 16 is consideration and action to direct the city manager to have the city attorney review closed session agenda items prior to posting. Mr. Steins.
I have given it a second thought by communicating with personnel to give me some advice and all this pertaining to this agenda item, so I would like and consider dismissing it.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to dismiss agenda item number 16. Any discussion? If there's none, we'll proceed to the vote. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Item is dismissed. Item number 17 is review of the bills. Ms. Israel.
No, sir.
Mr. Steins. Mr. Best.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garza.
No, sir.
Ms. Pacifica.
No, sir.
Mr. Gallegos.
No, sir.
There is none. Agenda item number 18.
Mayor, I move to adjourn.
Moved and seconded, we adjourn. All in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned at 7:45 PM.